Welcome. Thanks for joining me. What a pleasure it is to have your company. My name's Sue Gaskell Barlow, and I'm here to talk about life, how and where we arrive at the truth, how we learn to be our own self. Is life working for you? Are you content within yourself? Is the journey exciting or scary? Sue's University of Life, which is the platform I work from. I welcome you to subscribe and join me. There's lots and lots of videos on all sorts of topics, and today is no different. And the topic today is women who care too much. Now, it's a title that is from a book, and a book I read 20 years ago. I was intrigued by the title then, and I thought then, I wished it was titled more Women Who Don't Care About Themselves, because in my understanding, if you are in touch with who you are, it's not possible to love too much. It's possible, though, to not love yourself, and that you love other people to get a little bit of love to make you feel better. And of course, that only works if somebody is loving you back for what you do for them. And then what happens if that relationship or that person disappears? You've given all your love away, your caring, and nothing's coming back. So there's an empty hole inside of you. And that hole is something that people try and fill with food or drugs or work. And that hole is never going to be fed with anything other than the desire and need to accept and love yourself and care for yourself and remember that you matter. And so it's very, very important as you go through life, if things aren't working, that you ask yourself certain questions. And one question is, do I actually love myself? Now, it's not a gooey love. And then you could ask yourself, do I like myself? And then ask yourself, do I actually accept myself? And then questions arise if you quietly just reflect, just sit quietly and take some nice breaths in and out, focus on the breathing as you reflect on those questions quietly. Well, of course, the first question you could ask yourself is, well, am I somebody who could be classed as caring too much or too much for other people? And why do I do that? And so as you start asking yourself questions, it's amazing how you get answers if you quiet your mind. And that means taking nice breaths, focus on the breath, and just take your mind so that it's not talking to you, chattering away. And then just let yourself open up and open your heart and ask the questions. Do I actually like who I am? What arose for me was, well, who am I? I know I'm somebody's daughter. I know I'm somebody's sister. I know I'm somebody's friend. I know I'm somebody's mum, somebody's nana. I know I've been somebody's wife. And these are roles that we play. I know I'm an author. I know I'm a life coach. I know I have qualifications, bits of paper that are all over the place. Those are things that I do. They're roles that I play. And I still say, who am I? So those roles are like, imagine a hat stand with all sorts of hats on. Those are the hats we wear. I'm a doctor. I'm a nurse. I'm a cleaner. I'm a people pleaser. I'm somebody who cares. And so those are roles that we play and the hats that we wear. So imagine if you shook the hat stand and then all those hats disappeared. Who am I? Who are you? And it's not said in an aggressive way. It's with a curiosity. Oh, okay, well, who am I? And that's when you can begin to reflect, and the journey, the process is so exciting because you find out all sorts of things. My and your nature is pure love. Fact, pure love. That spiritual, pure, loving energy. And very quickly, as a child brought into this world on planet Earth, we are made into another being, which is our conditioning, our programming, and we're taught what's good, bad, right, wrong. And so we become another person. We're not able to be this ourselves, and we have to learn to grow, and we are vulnerable, and we're at the mercy of all the people around us. And we hope that those people are in touch with their loving spirit still and their loving heart. And if they're not, then we are a product of those experiences. And we just happen to be there. And we mustn't personalise that we're not good enough when somebody tells us we are. And so as a young girl, one of 11, I learned to be a carer. I learned to look after other people, because then they'd say thank you. And at least I had a role to play. Because as I looked after myself, I was told I was selfish, and that wasn't okay. And I very quickly learned to conform, to be able to fit in, because we all want to fit in and we all want to be accepted. And so as someone from a large family, I was in between two boys. And so if you can see, us three were together, and then the next set. And I was always the odd one out, because the boys didn't want to play with me, or they wanted whatever, the behaviour. And so I'd used to then pick the ball up and throw it and be the fetch and carrier, and then they would let me be part of the game. And it was enough then. And so I began to care and look after my dad when he needed a bit of help, and my friends when we were at school. And I very quickly took that on board as a role to play. And then I had to ask myself, in adult life, when things really got difficult in my late 30s, early 40s, and I had this breakdown of everything within almost, what was happening? And you see, what had happened was that I was caring for the whole world. I thought I was responsible for how people felt. Absolutely ridiculous, I know. However, that's how I felt, and I was there to look after everybody. And in response and return, people would be grateful. And I felt as though I mattered. And then when I became ill and I wasn't able to do things for other people, there was a great big hole in me. I felt completely helpless. I didn't know how to deal with life. And all I wanted was to get back to being able to help people. And nobody told me that the only person I needed to help was myself and value. And so that was my journey into women who care too much. And it's been a very long journey, a process of growth, learning, stopping, stepping back, lots of books, lots of listening, and lots of knocks to my ego. Egos aren't horrible. My ego that needed to look after other people. And then when I learned that I actually had no self-esteem, only from looking after people, the journey was quite difficult. And then I had to understand that helping people was very nice, and there was no harm in that, except that the reason for helping people was to make me feel better, as well as helping them. And sometimes helping people isn't helpful. And so I had to unlearn that, understand why I did it, and then I could make choices. And I could choose if I wanted to support people. And that was after I was looking after myself. So it was quite a long journey, and fraught with difficulties and pain and crying and grieving, and a great understanding arose from this, and that was that I didn't need to add suffering to my pain in any given situation, because I wasn't and I'm not responsible for anybody else's behaviour. I'm not responsible for anybody else's feelings. I don't make you feel anything. That was taught to me to make me conform, for people to be able to manipulate me. And of course, I learned to do that as well. So you have to own your own stuff. If you want to change, you have to look at, is what I'm doing helpful for me and other people? And so it's with great delight now, because I'm open and my heart's my own and I share it, not give it away. My motives are genuine. I've learned about boundaries. I've learned about so many things and continue to learn. It's with great joy that I now make myself happy, that I have a peace inside, that I don't rely on other people to create that or other things, because things are not important. They're very nice to have. They're not priority over importance. And for me, I don't need someone to make me complete. I am just complete within myself. And then I want to share, because it's lovely to share this experience from a place of love. And I've learned how to say no without being unkind. I've learned that how I used to feel rejected and left out. And sometimes I was. And sometimes I created that within myself because I felt as though I wasn't cared for and loved. And that was because I wasn't looking after me. And that was because I don't need people to appreciate what I do all the time, because I know who I am, and I can give myself the credit if I need to. And then you come back to this lovely place where you're just in awareness. It's just a wonderful experience. That takes time. We're all individual. I don't give advice. I talk from experience. I share what I know, and it may work for you and it may not. You've got health professionals, and there are so many people who can support you. There's a huge difference between somebody helping you and then you becoming a crutch and relying on that person, and then if they go, you fall down. So that's not what we're talking about. It's talking about being able to support somebody as they learn their lessons and they evolve and grow. Now, some people actually only want a crutch, and so very quickly you will learn that those sort of people are around. You don't have to not love them. You have to accept that they're not ready to grow. And so, you let them go with love. And if they want to come back into your life along the journey, some people have a crutch, a need of an external God, and they say, God help me, and they expect God to do everything. Well, God says, if you want to win the lottery, get a lottery ticket. And it's the same with us. God is good. Love is wonderful. And God wants us to be our own person, to have a piece of Him, a light shining, so that we can shine His light, because we're all part of the whole. Well, in order to do that, then some of you have got to get up off your backside. So don't swear, don't think it's necessary. Your bottom, your bum, you can call it what you will. Lazy language might do for you. And yes, I can swear. It's not something that I choose to do on a regular basis. I'm here on a platform where I'm trying to come from a place of honest, genuine regard. And as an example, for people to maybe want to aspire to, that's what they say to me. Now, does that mean I'm perfect? Absolutely not. I make mistakes. I laugh at myself. I don't laugh at myself in a negative way. I never put myself down. And I forget things. I wonder where I've put something. Why am I in this room? What made me come into this room? And we all do it. Only I don't give myself a hard time, and I certainly don't appreciate other people trying to ridicule me, because it makes them feel good if they point out something that I've just done. I used to be that scapegoat, and now people have got to go elsewhere, because sarcasm or sense of humour at someone else's expense is a real shame on the person who's doing it. And so I have learned so many skills, and it's my pleasure to share with any of you that actually want to get on the growth ladder, self-development, and there's so many books, there's so much around for us. There's never been a better time for you to learn that you matter and to learn to be who you were meant to be, and to then evolve that and find your talents and to admire other people. You don't have to envy, it's not an unhealthy feeling. It is, though, if you use it or don't even own it, because envy becomes resentment, unacknowledged envy. And instead of appreciating and admiring someone and saying, oh, I'd love to learn how to do that, then we have all these unresolved issues and they create illness in the body. The journey is fascinating, and I look forward to sharing with you on lives. Leave a comment, that would be lovely. I get the comment, and if you subscribe, I see you've subscribed, and I think that's wonderful. And you know, I can be with you on your journey for a while. I want you to walk beside me. I want you to understand that I'm a guide. I'm here to enhance your life, not to take anything away. And that's what love is. It's a caring, a sharing, it's an understanding of. And I have to keep a close eye on my triggers, my ego, the lessons, the subconscious stuff that still comes up for me. And instead of thinking, oh, that's awful, I just say to myself, okay, what can I learn from this? And that's what the journey is about, to learn, to evolve, to grow, and to be able to be open and to just be. And hoping that this has been of some interest to you. If not, that's absolutely okay. And until the next time, I will say bye for now. And whatever you do and wherever you are, remember you matter. And I use my own words, and that is love, love, love. Bye for now.